Hello, hello. Another week, another recording, another post on my YouTube. Here is my attempt at being your next guru. So, I have been living in Osaka for a total of how many years? 7 years. 7 years. And there was a period whereby I was in Japan, but I was in Osaka. When I initially came to Japan, I was in Osaka. And I used to have this job, it was called Minpaku, whereby my company were kind of managers for people who owned Airbnbs. And what we will do is basically organize the bookings, to take care of the guests, clean the rooms every once in a while. And so I would cycle, they had this electrical bicycle they would give me, and I would cycle around the city, going to these different locations, just cleaning up apartments, checking the guests, seeing everything was okay. And it was a wonderful job. I mean, it helped me. I've always loved just walking around the city. And this job helped me go to places within the city that I had never been to before. And one of the places I went to was this apartment. It was in a place called Homachibashi. At the time, I didn't know what Homachibashi was. I didn't know the name of the location. I just know, follow them up and go to location A, right? So I get to this place, I walk up to the apartment, and I open the windows just to air out the room before I start cleaning. And the view was magnificent. It was just an open view of the city. It was the highways, the other skyscrapers, everything. It was amazing, amazing view. And as I'm in the balcony, looking at the view, I call my wife. And I tell her, wow, this place is amazing. And I send her a picture of the view. And I tell her, I would love to live here. I would love to live in this place. Flash forward, so I moved to Kyushu, southern Japan, and I'm in Kyushu for 3 years. Then I come back to Japan, and I come back to Osaka, sorry. And my wife, she was looking for an apartment, so that's why she came to Osaka before me. And she found this wonderful apartment. I didn't know where the apartment was. It was just a wonderful apartment. So I come to the apartment, I know we're staying, now we live in Homachibashi, right? But I have no clue, I don't remember that this is near the building that I was cleaning. I have no clue, right? Until one day I'm just walking around the neighborhood and I see, oh my God, the building I was cleaning, the place I told my wife I would like to live in, is the building right next door. That's the building. This is the view. We don't exactly have the view, but it's this place, right? And it got me to thinking how in life, the things that are coming to you, they're gonna be signs of those things way before you get them. This is gonna be a negative example, but if everyone around you is getting cancer, bro, you're next. You're gonna get cancer. Sounds fucked up, but it's true, If everyone around you is getting rich, you're next. You're gonna get rich because you're an amalgamation of the 5 people you spend time with. And if all the 5 people in your circle are rich, you're definitely next to get rich. And so I had this story I was writing. And the story is something along the same lines, whereby there's this guy and he's suicidal. Actually, he's in the act of committing suicide. And I don't know why. I just start the story off like he's standing next to the train tracks, waiting for the train to come so he can jump on the tracks. And as I'm writing the story, this, doors of perception open up to me. And it's like, he finally can see the train coming. He can feel the vibrations on the ground, and he decides to set one foot on the track, then the other. And when he does so, he's an unbeliever. When he does so, he starts questioning himself, is there really nothing after this? Once I die, is it all black? Because that's what he wants. That's why he's dying. He wants there to be nothing, right? But then he gets this flooding of DMT in his brain as the train is approaching. And when his brain floods with DMT, time freezes. And it's not him looking at the train. He's not feeling the rain pouring down on his face. Everything is frozen. And now all he sees is moment after moment of his life being replayed back to him. It's like that last second before death is him, is the universe, God, recapping his life, trying to show him this is what you missed. This is the point. You missed this fucking point. right? And he can see, like, in his life, there are some things that have been happening over and over and over again. Things that now that he's about to die appear to be lessons. Like this one lesson that was coming up over and over and over again, but he wasn't getting it. He wasn't getting it. And now, he finally gets it. But the train is here. Time's up. What do you do? What do you do? And so, isn't this much like our lives? Whereby we have this, like, a lesson that keeps replaying over and over again in my life is the lesson of, number one, social anxiety, time management, financial management. This is the lesson I keep playing over and over again in my life. It's like the lesson of fitness. I'm not getting much of that lesson playing over and over again because I feel like to a degree, I have that on lockdown. I know to work out. No one needs to tell me to work out. No one needs to tell me, like, hey, Oscar, you shouldn't drink 2 liters of Coca-Cola a day. Right? I say that after I'm done smoking a cigarette, But either way, my point here being that if you see these lessons coming up over and over and over again, the universe, God is trying to tell you, pause, take a beat, take a breath, and let's start working on this. We need to start working on this. Because you don't want to find yourself facing an oncoming train thinking, if I only got that lesson, I wouldn't be here right now. And what does this have to do with my initial point about the apartments and the building that I liked being next to the building and I now live in? The point I'm making is sometimes the things you hope for, the things that attract you to them, that's also kind of a lesson. It's like, there's a wonderful thing that Jordan Peterson said, and he said that if you find yourself interested in writing or basketball, of course I'm paraphrasing, he didn't take that to put it this way, you're interested in writing, or basketball, fighting, any endeavor, are you the one that chose that thing, or did that thing choose you? Now, I love writing. I recall the very first day I realized I love writing. But it's an awkward thing for a 7-year-old boy to lock himself in his room and just write. It's a strange thing, right? Why is it that Oscar started to love writing? Or is it that writing first loved Oscar? The same with this building. Why did I've been to many buildings, seen many views. Why is it that this building, this view, called my name? And I find myself 3 years later living right next to that building. The universe is projecting out messages onto us. And the message is that something is coming your way. Watch out. Something is coming your way. You need to get ready to grab it. It can be good or bad. It can be a warning or a prophecy. It's like, these things are coming. These things are coming. I posted my very first of these videos that I posted 2 weeks ago. One of the comments I got was a guy commenting on a video that I had put up 7 years ago. And I totally forgot about that video until I watched it. And I saw the change in myself. I had the change in my voice, the change in my eyes, the change in my calmness, my being collected, right? And not only that, the things I was talking about, I am no longer dealing with those same issues, or if I am, it's not in the same way, right? There was a premonition back then, and to a degree I heeded the call. Still, making some of those mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nothing that I do on this planet can be perfect, right? The only perfect thing now on this planet was like the death of Christ on the cross. That was the only perfect thing. The life of Christ on earth, that was the only perfect thing. Everything else is human beings attempting at perfection. And people do really well. People do amazing jobs. You've seen Michael Jordan, I'm sure. You've seen John Jones fighting. You've read You've read anything by fucking Tolstoy or Dostoevsky. You've read John Steinbeck. You know it's possible to attempt to reach perfection. And even though you don't grab it, you get damn near close. And so with that I say this. Pay attention. Because everything you need to do, it's like, okay, even listening to me, listening to Hamza, listening to Wes Watson, listening to Jonah Peterson, they're saying things that you already know. You know all of these things. No one needs to tell you these things. You know them. No one needs to tell you what you need to do to improve your life. You already know because you're the only one who knows everything about your life. And those lessons the universe is giving you, those lessons are only given to you. I'm not getting those lessons for you. There's no way you're seeing my lessons. So here's a piece of advice. Before you go to bed tonight, take a piece of paper, open a notebook, take a pen, a pencil. Be in silence for 5 minutes. Don't do anything, just have them on the table next to you. Be in silence for 5-10 minutes. Think about your life. Contemplate about what you think needs to be done. And once you're done, write it down. What should you do next? Not a 5-year plan, not a 6-month plan. What should you do next right now? Because I feel like in life, we get so discombobulated thinking about the next. Fuck, I was once dating this girl and she introduced me to her parents, and when they're in their living room and my wife and the mother go off to make lunch, and it's just me and the dad. And back then I was in school, I was a student, and the dad asked me, "So Oscar, what's your 5-year plan?" And I'm like, I'm sweating bricks. I'm like, fuck, I don't have a 5-year plan. So I just start lying. Yeah, I want to work for the government. I want to be a diplomat. I'm looking forward to, traveling abroad, helping my country expand its, its foreign influence. Such the lies people say, the lies I said. I didn't have a 5-year plan. Jesus Christ, I didn't even have a plan for that week. And the reason why maybe there are people who can focus enough to have 5-year plans, 10-year plans. But I feel like most people don't. I know I don't. So what's the best way to get ahead of this? What can you do next? What's the next right thing? What can you do right now that will make the next moment after that just a little bit better? Just a little bit better, right? It might be nothing impressive. Maybe for someone's like, I'm going to go and do a 10K. Maybe that's you. Maybe another guy will say, I'm going to start working on my book right now. But maybe for you, it can be just, hey, I'm going to call my mom. I'm going to tell my dad I love him. I'm going to go and help my wife do the dishes. It's like when we think of self-improvement, I feel like the reason why most people fall into this self-improvement depression is that you look at those guys, the guys who've done it, the famous guys on YouTube, who made it all the way. And you're like, Jesus Christ, where do I even start? I can't get to where David Goggins is. Like, do I need 10 years to become David Goggins? Fuck that, I'm out, right? But what if I told you David Goggins started with one step? One step. Forget the entire run, forget his entire first run. It was just one step, right? So with you, if you want to get on this self-improvement path, I suggest do the next right thing, no matter how low it is. And Jordan Peterson said it perfectly. Aim low. Aim low. Don't aim too high, because maybe you might burn your wings and fall down, fucking Icarus. Aim low. Aim low. Keep it low level. And tomorrow, the low bar is going to keep moving just a bit higher each day, just slightly higher. The point where you're looking back 7 years later and you're like, oh my God, so much has changed in those 7 years. So much has changed in those 7 months, right? But if you keep saying, I'm going to start waking up at 3:30 every morning, dude, you will burn yourself out in day 3. Stop. Don't do it. You're not ready for that. You're not. You are you, and you know what you're capable of. And I don't say this to discourage you. Please, give it your best. Give it your shot. But if you want this to be like, 1% improvement every day, keep the growth, keep the improvement at 1%. You're starting at, your baseline is here, right? You can't jump from here to here. Now you have to, baby steps. And the best way to go about this is like trying to understand all these premonitions all around you, all the lessons the universe is trying to offer you, because the universe is offering you all the lessons, and it's free. You don't need a course from Hamza. You don't need to join the Real World University by Andrew Tate. You don't need to pay into Wes Watson program. The lessons are all around you. And it's the same with them. Wes Watson, I don't think he paid into anyone's program. He learned the lessons that were being offered to him by the universe. And maybe that lesson is in a book you read, a book you're reading right now. Maybe it's in this YouTube clip you're watching right now. Maybe I am a part of your lesson. I damn well better be. Otherwise, this has been a fucking waste of your time. In Jesus' name, we do pray and believe. Amen.